Our next presentation this afternoon is from the University of Minnesota.
Among fishing, camping, hunting, and golfing, there's a wide variety of hobbies that anyone could choose from. And then there's homebrewing. Why homebrewing? Here at North Star Cooperative, we're excited to tell you, the board of directors, about our product, Superior Hops. Now is the perfect time for Superior Hops to enter the market, as homebrewing is rapidly gaining popularity. Hops are a key ingredient in beer, and they give it the special character, flavor, and style. In its simplest form, beer is essentially water, yeast, grains, and hops. Now we're about to take you through the journey of a homebrewer using Jeff, a marketing professional who's an experienced homebrewer. Jeff began homebrewing in college as a way to save money. He is a part of our focus group and has a passion for homebrewing. Our survey of more than 400 respondents shows us that our target market demographics are males between the ages of 21 and 34. Like Jeff, they thrive knowing they're a part of a larger homebrewing community and enjoy sharing their stories via blogs and social media outlets. Homebrewers can lean on our suppliers, Northern Brewer and Midwest Supplies, as they begin their homebrewing journey. Homebrewers follow a natural progression by first tasting their beer before they decide to brew it. We give them this opportunity with the Lunatic. Lucifer Brewing, the award-winning and fastest-growing microbrewery in the Twin Cities, is our partner, and our beer will be on tap at each of their locations. Our pre-packaged Lunatic kit has everything the homebrewer needs, consisting of our superior hops and additional ingredients, yeast, and grains. With time and trials, homebrewers will become more knowledgeable and comfortable with homebrewing as their journey progresses. At this point, they can look to our suppliers, who will encourage them to purchase our brand companions. Once they are ready to begin a new brew with separate ingredients, their progression matures from pellets, which are dried and compressed hops that you have seen on your table there, whole hops, which are hops in their most natural form, flowers, also on your table, into rhizomes, which are premature hop plants that can be grown at home. So in summary, first they taste our beer with Lucifer Brewing and fall in love. Then they buy our beginner homebrewer kit, the Lunatic. Once they're a little more comfortable with homebrewing, they're progressed from pellets, whole hops, into rhizomes. Superior hops are an exceptional quality hop that can be used in a diverse range of brew styles. Superior hops are grown in southeastern Minnesota and southwestern Wisconsin as an additional opportunity for our 72 farmers. Here's Rachel with our market analysis.
Our market analysis includes market trends, target demographic, and market size. Our research has shown that the number of homebrewers in the United States has been increasing year to year. The National Homebrewing Conference has seen a significant increase in attendance from over the past 10 years, indicating a strong growth in both the hobby and industry. Enthusiasm for beer has also been on the rise, with more and more craft breweries opening each and every day. In fact, in Minnesota alone, the number of breweries has increased by 580% from 2003 to 2012. To substantiate these marketing trends, we conducted an industry-focused survey of more than 400 beer enthusiasts and homebrewers. We found that homebrewers like Jeff are business professionals who can spend up to $240 per month on this hobby. They are a close, social community where word of mouth is everything. Homebrewers share a passionate, creative, do-it-yourself approach to both life and brewing. Currently, hops are sourced from the Pacific Northwest, and we will shock the current market by offering hops that are locally grown, assuring availability and freshness, two of our top consumer preferences. Of the current $24 million market, we will displace 7%, carving out $1.7 million in revenue. Analyzing our survey and 2010 census data, we project that Superior Hops will reach 19,600 homebrewers in major Minnesota metro areas. In year 2, we will reach 59,400 homebrewers as we expand to a 5-state region. In year 3, we'll expand farther to a 7-state region, where we will reach 147,000 homebrewers. Later, as you will see, through our marketing approach, we are creating the homebrewer as we increase our target market year to year and expand geographically. And now here's Royce with our competitive analysis.
Here at North Star, we realize that our target market is using other varieties of hops and other brands of kits. However, after researching these other varieties, we realized that we have found a niche in the market. In our competitive analysis, we have identified the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of our position in this industry. We've conducted a product comparison with the leading brands of hops such as Cascade, Centennial, Chinook, and Simcoe brands. The brand attributes listed on this table have been rated on a scale of 1 to 5, from least to greatest value. As you can see, Superior Hop's greatest strength is its versatility with brewing usage. Researchers at the University of Minnesota have spent over 2 years developing our variety of hop so that it exceeds the bitter flavors of most other brands, but still retains the same citrus flavors and aromas as the traditional varieties. This versatility with brewing usage allows our hops to be brewed in IPAs, stouts, porters, and lagers. Our survey data suggests that quality, freshness, and availability are the most important brand attributes to home brewers in the Midwest. Being locally grown and locally supplied, we can ensure the quality and freshness that our target market desires. We will emphasize our locality and build strong relationships with farmers so homebrewers like Jeff can identify with and support their local economy. In addition to our strengths, we realize that there are weaknesses acquired through any new product introduction. Unestablished brand awareness will be our biggest challenge, followed by indirect retail access to homebrewers. However, as you'll learn in our action plan, we plan to combat these challenges with interactive promotional events. At North Star, we see far more opportunities than weaknesses. The biggest opportunity we see is a growing popularity in homebrewing. According to the National Homebrewers Association, the number of beginner homebrew kits sold in 2010 grew by over 82%. We plan to exploit this growing popularity by first establishing exclusivity with suppliers and breweries. Our focus group has made it clear that homebrewers' buying habits change as they gain experience. Our diversified assets, which include whole hops, pelleted hops, rhizomes, and brew kits, will allow us to supply homebrewers at all levels of experience. Once we're better established, we will seize the opportunity of creating a partnership with the leading wholesale supplier, Hops Union. This partnership will give our brand national recognition and it will increase our market significantly. Lastly, the threats in our industry include the well-established brands listed above. The biggest challenge facing Superior Hops will be displacing market share from these leading brands. Now that we have discussed the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, I'll now turn it over to Maggie to discuss the business proposition.
At North Star Cooperative, we strive to be the preferred resource for Midwestern homebrewers by providing hops of exceptional quality that cater to the ultimate homebrewing experience. With realistic goals in mind, we strive for brand awareness of our hops to reach 30% in year 1 and to an additional 15% in year 2 and in year 3. In order to reach these goals, we have 5 planning assumptions for marketing Superior hops. The first planning assumption is that supply will be available at year 1 and continue to reach sales goals as we expand into our targeted regions. Secondly, harvest is mechanized and efficient. Third, in association with a third party, our cooperative has the necessary facilities for processing, packaging, and distributing our hops in 3 forms. Fourth, Midwest Supplies and Northern Brewer have agreed to exclusively package and sell our branded hops and kits. Not only are these suppliers stationed in our Twin Cities backyard, but on average generate revenue up to $20 million annually. And finally, Lucifer Brewing, an award-winning Twin Cities-based microbrewer, has agreed to brew and distribute our signature beer, the Lunatic, using only Superior hops as the hop ingredient. Lucifer Brewing has the brewing capacity of up to 160,000 gallons per year, an above-average capacity and a strong connection for Superior hops. Now Jackie will discuss Phase 1 of our action plan.
Our action plan for Superior hops will be employed over a 3-year time period. Each year, we'll be expanding our geographical territory while also implementing a 2-phase promotional strategy. In year 1, our primary market will be the Twin Cities metro area. Here, we will sell our hops by partnering with our suppliers. In addition, our partnership with Lucifer Brewing will prove to be an important promotional tool, generating brand awareness. In year 2, we will reach markets in the Dakotas, Iowas, and Wisconsin. In year 3, with continued market expansion, we will reach larger Midwest cities such as Omaha, St. Louis, and here in Kansas City. We will initiate Phase 2 of our promotion strategies 1 year after our initial phase. Phase 1 will focus on generating brand awareness, and acquiring 7% of our respective market share. Phase 2 will support these efforts by establishing a social community, as well as developing even more homebrewers. Superior hops will be sold to distributors at a competitive price of $2.50, allowing for retailer markups. In addition, we will have brand companions, the Lunatic Brewing Kit, sold at approximately $30 through our suppliers, and lastly, rhizomes at a retail price of $4.80. Starting with Phase 1 in Year 1, Superior Hops will host and promote a road tour across the state of Minnesota. Here, we will travel in style in our signature Saloon Mobile, making pit stops at sporting competitions, music festivals, and beer brewing events. We'll show people how to brew with superior hops, provide free samples and opportunities to meet our growers. Promotional trade shows will make superior hops come alive in our current marketplace, as well as be introduced into new ones. We'll be present at events such as the Beer Dabbler, Spring Ale Fest, and the American Brewers Conference. We'll be able to promote our products as well as connect with our customers through demonstrations and brewing seminars. Social media will prove to be a vital role in establishing brand awareness as well as generating attention to our events. We will be using sites and applications to host our Meet the Grower and Learn to Brew videos, as well as provide Lunatic brew recipes. More importantly, though, we will be engaging our home brewers with our cooperative's identity, product, and events through our informational website, Facebook, and Twitter notifications. Our loyalty program will allow customers to purchase superior hops and Lunatic brew kits while also gaining value in continued purchases. Coupons will be handed out at hosted events, and staff will be there to assist with the registration process of our loyalty program. Using our promotion strategies, we will be able to collect and implement market data to help improve our business. And now, here's Beth for Phase 2.
Phase 2 of our marketing plan focuses on reaching out to the homebrewing community via advertising. Print media will be used to communicate with the homebrewing community with the publications that are the most recognized. To capture targeted market share, Superior Hops will invest in a special product display to stand out from our competitors. This strategy will allow Superior Hops to receive preferential store placement and free up shelf space by providing our very own display. To expand our customer base, Superior Hops will host events to encourage beer enthusiasts to get real hopped up. At our Hopped Up 5K, they will lace up their running shoes and join us at the starting line. From there, we commence with the most sacred of competitions, Beer Olympics. After beer pong, keg toss, and a beer can stacking contest, beer enthusiasts will fall in love with the taste of our beer and the atmosphere among the homebrewing community and decide that they want to be a home brewer. Now Kyle will discuss monitoring and measuring.
4 areas of measurement will be used to monitor the Superior Hops brand and ensure success for our producers. They include market penetration and brand awareness, customer relationship management, social responsibility and sustainability, as well as sales and profitability. Our representatives will utilize market data surveys to ensure satisfaction for end customers, retailers, microbrewer partners, and hops producers we work with. At our promotional events, such as Meet the Grower, all members of the supply chain will have the opportunity to meet each other and add personal touch to these events. Market penetration will be measured. Market penetration will be monitored by using Google Alerts to follow our products online, as well as sales and profitability. We will use Google Analytics and the Facebook admin panel for social networking and website traffic monitoring. We've also established a customer loyalty program based on a loyalty card for consumers such as Jeff to use when buying Superior Hops products. For every 200 points accumulated on the card, customers will receive a $5 credit on their next purchase. Giving customers the opportunity to earn additional points by completing online product reviews will assist in monitoring buyer trends, preferences, and website traffic. In addition to this, coded coupons will be handed out at promotional events and in response to surveys to track the success of these events. Tracking the date and location of sales, as well as coupon redemption rates, will allow for greater return on investment as we decide which events to attend. Superior hops will be grown on non-tillable and otherwise erodible soils, creating value for landowners and conserving the ground at the same time. Now this is a great opportunity with nearly 129,000 acres in the Minnesota Conservation Reserve Program set to expire this September according to the USDA. Our reactive contingency plan guarantees success as unknown variables arise. If sales are lower than expected, we will adjust product position by monitoring and reevaluating our price margins, as well as reassessing gross profit. On the other hand, if sales significantly increase, we will increase grower patronage and ration supply through increased prices. Our data mining of the loyalty program will act as a tripwire for contingency if necessary. Our contingency plan, demand pull marketing strategy, as well as our monitoring and measuring tactics will ensure that Superior Hops reaches the goals we have set. I'll now hand it off to Jared to discuss financials.
Superior Hops Financial Plan executes a highly rewarding opportunity through our demand pull marketing strategy, aligning with the craft homebrewer progression model and the craft brew movement. We will brew up excitement with our consumers as we hop into the marketplace with a $3 million brand. Revenue will be generated from sales of individual 1-ounce packages of pelleted and fresh hops, in addition to sales of rhizomes and lunatic brew kits. We will purchase fresh whole hops from our growers for a premium price of $3 per pound. We will mechanically strip vines at our facility and send a portion of our hops to a third party to be pelletized for a tolling fee of 2 cents per ounce. Packaging and printing will be done at our facility for 7 cents, totaling to a net cost of 28 cents. By charging $2.50 to our partnered retailers, there is opportunity for mutual profit, considering industry average retail markup to be 15%. Market research shows that our consumers are willing to pay a premium price for quality, freshness, and locally grown. Most retail craft beers sell for $6 a pint. Beer produced from our hops rounds out to be 75 cents per pint. Rhizomes will incur a $1.05 cost per unit and will generate a net return of $3.75. Our demand pull marketing strategy focuses on engaging homebrewers like Jeff to become our most valuable asset as ambassadors, and homebrewers will become an important role in building our company by word of mouth. Event-based strategies will enable us to carve out a 7% market share. Our top 4 marketing expenses include promotions, supply chain representatives, print media, and local events. We will employ 3 supply chain representatives in year 1 and increase to a workforce of 32 by our 3rd year. Realistic projections for promotions and print media, in addition to advertising involved with local events and road tours, will result in a net loss in years 1 and 2. Through our market research, we will establish 224,000 units sold in year 1. Established demand will increase sales to 1.3 and 5.1 million units in years 2 and 3 respectively. Gross margins will also increase immensely from years 1 to 3, emerging from an initial 519,000 to reach 12 million by our 3rd year. We understand overhead costs to be significant relative to market share. Therefore, Superior Hops will observe a net loss of $944,000 in year 1, approach less than $500,000 loss in year 2, followed by a significant return in year 3 to reach an outstanding profit of $3.2 million. Going into this venture, our growers understand that this is a 3-year marketing commitment and that there will not be a return until years 3 and following on. It is industry standard that cooperative structures such as this are set up this way, returning patronage after the brand has been established. Growers will receive a $25,000 return on their initial $10,000 investment in years 3 and moving on forward. We have now laid a solid foundation for building brand awareness and achieving our targeted sales, thus accomplishing our profit objectives.
North Star Cooperative, along with our key suppliers, is here for the home brewer as they progress through every step of their journey. We will continue to build support with our suppliers by creating awareness and driving traffic to our partners through our trademarked hops and brand companions. Now is the perfect time for Superior Hops to enter the market, as homebrewers are thirsty for a locally grown hop of esteemed quality and freshness. With your approval, we'd like to start this superior journey with you. At this time, we'd like to thank you, and are there any questions?
Could you be more specific about the retail outlets? You showed the display, but what kind of a retail outlet, where would I find this?
Well, as you can see on the chart that's listed over there, the retailers that we are partnering with are the Northern Brewer and Midwest Supply. Something unique about them is they are the 2 largest supply stores in the United States, and they're both located in the metro area of Minneapolis. And so we're very fortunate that this, marketing plan could be built off of that. And as we continue to grow in our respective regions, they do have locations outside of that metro area that we can continue to partner with them in. And as we enter regions such as Chicago, we understand that there's going to be a cost to get into those markets, and we are going to try and partner with further markets as we get deeper in our expansion plan. Does that answer your question?
Kind of. What kind of store is Midwest Supplies?
Midwest Supplies and Northern Brewer are both home brewing supply stores. They're going to sell the Lunatic Kit, as we mentioned. They're also going to sell our rhizomes, which are the premature hop plant for home brewers to purchase and grow at home. And then also they'll sell, the pelleted hops and the whole fresh hops that you see here. And the package is listed right there on the chart as well.
In addition to that, if I could just add, they also supply the equipment needed to do the home brewing. They're the go-to place for home brewers. That's where you go to start out. They're really helpful, and they point you in the direction of the best hop, best equipment, everything like that. And it'll be great that we partner with them.
So would they also be selling stuff for your competitors?
Yes. And we've talked about, we understand that we have competitors, and we just feel being a locally grown product when all of the other hops are sourced from the West Coast is really something that's going to drive our market and drive people to purchasing. And we've talked with other stores and supply stores in the different regions that we talked about with the Dakotas, Wisconsin, and Iowa, and they all said, we would love to purchase a locally grown hop. We just don't have the supply. And us forming a cooperative would ensure that supply to those suppliers for a locally grown hop.
Just going off a little further, in addition to what Steph said, she mentioned that we talked to suppliers in the surrounding states. We talked to one in particular, one in South Dakota, and he was when we were discussing cooperatives, they had cooperatives there that were locally sourced in the Midwest rather than on the West Coast of the country. He was asking me information, if we knew of the cooperative, dates and address, names. So we know that the demand is there, but it's just, we know that people would buy it. It's just getting there. People need to know about this, and partnering with suppliers, it's a word-of-mouth community, and people would be ecstatic if we had a large cooperative-based hop production zone in the Midwest.
I just have a quick question, not understanding this market well. We've got roughly, say, year 2 or 3, a 3.5 and an almost $14 million revenue position at the end of those years. But then we also have roughly half of that in each of those years, if not a little bit more, made up in marketing expense. So we're spending literally 15% of our revenue to cover marketing. Is that common in this marketplace? That's a huge number. I know there's a lot of promotion, but how can you justify that type of a market spend against that revenue?
Sure. So we understand that through our market research, our focus group, and our survey collected, and also discussing with our home brewer partners, that is a very industry standard marketing expense. In terms of that, we plan to increase promotions as we go on, basically to establish and sort of prime the pump, so to speak, to build brand awareness and ensure that our consumers are aware of our hop. First off, we're the only one in the Midwest. Everything else is from the Pacific Northwest coast. We have to first make them aware. So a lot of that goes to our local events, such as the road tours, partnering with our Lucifer Brewing, holding events there. So mainly building brand awareness, and shortly after that, you'll see in year 3 and moving on, we'll see a significant return once that brand awareness is established. Does that answer your question?
It does. Thank you.
I really have to ask this question this way because it just sounds so neat. How much of our hops will Lucifer use? What percentage?
What percentage? Roughly 10 to 12% is what they'll be using, considering they are mainly our promotional gig, mainly just to get that taste out there. A majority of our hops will be used both in the pelleted form and the fresh hop form, also in the Lunatic brew kits. Basically, our partnership with the Lucifer is so that homebrew or beer enthusiasts in general will first be able to taste this beer, find out they love it, and as my colleagues mentioned, then go home and do it themselves. So basically, that is just to get our foot in the door. They're using a minimal amount of our hops.
Will Lucifer be happy? Boy, this is great. Will Lucifer be happy that a person can then brew this at home and then won't come back to the store?
Well, to answer that question, we have allocated significant funds for co-branding and cooperative advertising, both with our suppliers and Lucifer, so that every glass that they receive in either their tap room or their bar, wherever this beer is on tap, it will not only have the Lunatic brand and the Superior hops, but also their Lucifer. Their name will be on every one of our sponsorship events. They will also, in years down the road, seeing as how we'll be more prominent and have more growers, there is potential for us to have a market in simply supplying Lucifer with all of their hops, in addition to the venture we have laid out in front of you.
Great, thank you.
Do you foresee any challenges going to specifically your three markets when you go into Chicago and Kansas City and St. Louis, where Lucifer is a craft brew locally in the Twin Cities? Do you expect to have different partners in different places? Is Lucifer prepared to expand into other areas? This is just going crazy.
To answer that question, sure. Lucifer, as we mentioned, is one of the fastest growing microbreweries in the Twin Cities metro area. They currently do not have any locations outside of the Twin Cities, but they have recently become available on taps in Rochester, southeastern Minnesota, southwest Wisconsin. Just as we have laid out here, the co-branding, partnering with our suppliers, we plan to initiate that in our second and third phase, especially as we move into Chicago. As you can see in our marketing budget, we have allocated expenses to get into the market.
In addition to that, we'll be taking this beer and these samples on the road with us on our tours to each state. So it'll be easier for Lucifer to come with us and to put their name out there and actually get brand awareness for themselves in other states.
You're making a contract with the devil, I'm telling you.
What can you tell us about the factors behind the increased interest in home brewing? Is that sustainable? What's the peak?
Well, as a home brewer myself, I would have to say that it's something that's going to be around for a while, and it's going to stick around. It's a social community. It's not just a hobby. It's something where you get together with friends to brew. You share the beer with your friends. They get excited. They want to be craft brewers, or home brewers. It's something that's always growing, and there's always events going on. And research has shown too that the amount of beer consumed also rises with recessions and things like that. So it's recession-proof as well.
I'd like to add into that. When we met with someone in our focus group, Jeff, he talked about how Thursday's brewing night. So his wife knows, his neighbors know, and apparently they will come over, and he's a really experimental guy. So he will make these brews, and he'll put peanut butter or cherries or chocolate in it, and they're all trying this. So then all the neighbors are going home like, hey, he can make this, I can make this. And in Minnesota, 1 in every 200 people is a home brewer, compared to nationally 1 in every 300. So naturally, they're very passionate people, and it's like, if he can do this, I can do this, and then they do. So it's, as she said, it is growing.
One of the slides you showed was the rankings, the 1 through 5 of the different hops. One, where did you get those? And it looked like, if 5 is the best, it looked like the Superior hops were all 5s, and they were one of the most cost-effective there.
Yeah, I can answer that question. All the data on this table was taken from the Hops Union website. They have kind of like an electronical book on there with all the values of each variety of hop, their bittering agent qualities, their citrus values, things like that. So we compared, we looked through all of the different varieties in there and the most popular brands, and kind of compared and contrasted all of the qualities, and we identified ours as the most superior in beer style versatility. It's got both citrus flavors and bittering flavors, and the price isn't quite as competitive as the other well-established brands, but we did that because our survey data suggests that the demand is there for a locally grown variety of hop. Just to reinforce what Royce said, all of this data received here is
found on one of our competitors, Hop Union. It is not just something we had fictitiously made up. It's basically constructed of data mining done electronically through Hop Union, which they have contracted with either a marketing firm or an agency or something of that nature to actually physically track how often their hops are used, what they're used for, their quality, and their consumer preference and consumer satisfaction.